Hello and welcome back to Indie Gamiacs. Today I wanted to cover some of the best indie sports games that I could find. I've always been a huge fan of sports games, and the indie scene I think generally is slightly underrepresents some sports games. I don't think there's as many as I would like myself. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to just highlight some of the cool ones that I found. Some are not out just yet and other ones are out, which you'll see shortly. So let's make a start. And we're going to start with a game called Super Soccer Blast. Now this is from a developer out of Barcelona and they're called Unfinished Pixel. Super Soccer Blast really is a throwback to those late 90s, early 2000s football games. So think gameplay feels like a mix between sensible soccer and international superstar soccer. Those kind of more fun-based gameplay rather than simulation. But it still has everything that you want. It still has all the tournaments. It still has all the customization of players, loads of customizations if you want. It has up to 4 players on local multiplayer. And it really is just a nice game for casual players. If you just want to pick up and play a game, you can totally do that. It's great fun for that. Or if you're a more serious, long-term type of a player, like I said, there's still loads of tournaments, world tour modes, customization, so you can really spend a lot of time in this game if you want, or just pick up and play it. Super Soccer Blast is out now on Steam, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. Next up we have Super Tennis Blast. Now that name may seem quite similar to the first game we just featured, and that's because it's developed by the same company, Unfinished Pixel. So they really are going for this arcade style sports game genre, which is fantastic. So I have no problem with featuring them again with another game. So what is Super Tennis Blast? So just like Super Soccer Blast, this has all the features that you would want. There are tournaments, there are training, there are multiplayer modes, everything again that you would expect from a tennis game is all here. But it also has a Super Blast mode, which brings a more of a party feel mode to the game. So when you're playing in local multiplayer, it has things like living net, which means that as you can see in the video, the net actually raises up slightly on one side to stop you shooting that side, or the court changes shape slightly and changes size. Just adds a bit of fun and variety to the game when you're playing multiplayer, which is a really nice feature. I really like that. But again, the regular standard game is proper tennis. You got all your tournaments, all the rules, all the power shots, the backhands, the volleys, top spins, everything again that you would want is here. And just like their other games, it looks fantastic. It's got a certain style to it, which is obviously their way of doing it, and they've done a great job. Super Tennis Blast is out now. It's available on Steam, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. Before we move on to the next game, I do want to flag up that Unfinished Pixel do also have a volleyball game, which is also available on Steam, and you can buy all 3 games in like a giant sports pack. So I'll leave a link to that below in case you wanted to pick up all of them, and you might save yourself a little bit of money buying them as a bundle rather than these individually. Next up is Golf with Your Friends. Now this is a game that I have definitely played the most out of everything on this list. This is such a fantastic game. It's madness is what it is. It's brilliant. Now I'm not actually a fan of golf whatsoever, but I love this. So let me just read the description for this, because I think it sums it up perfectly. Why have friends if not to play golf with your friends? Nothing is out of bounds as you take on courses filled with fast-paced, exciting, simultaneous mini golf for up to 12 players. And this is the magic in the game. The 12-player online multiplayer is absolute mayhem. It's brilliant. You have completely themed courses which have all different mechanics in them. So you have things like volcanoes blasting, you have bouncy things blowing up. It's just mayhem, absolute mayhem when you're playing this. You can customize your balls as well if you want to do that. It is what it is. It's crazy golf with your friends, which is nothing more fun. If you're sitting around online with your friends, you load this up and it's just brilliant. I highly recommend this. I'm not sure what it would be like to play it on your own, if I'm honest. I don't know where the excitement would be myself, because it's a multiplayer game. There's a few different game modes. There are power-ups to to boost yourself. You can even change the rules of gravity and bouncing and all sorts of stuff you can change while you're playing. So it really can vary. Every single game is completely different. That's what's so good about it. And there's also a level editor. So if you're feeling creative, you can create an awesome custom map just for you and your friends, which is brilliant. It's out now on Steam. You can pick it up and just enjoy yourself playing it. It's absolutely brilliant. Next up is Legend Bowl. Now, Legend Bowl is a throwback to the classic 8 and 16-bit football games of the past. Take to the gridiron and fight your way to becoming a football legend. You can enjoy sim-style gameplay, realistic weather, detailed stats, season mode, tournament mode, fully customizable rosters, and tons more. Everything that I know about American football has come from games. I'm not a huge fan of the sport in real life, if I'm honest, but I'm a huge fan of the games. And I kind of lost my interest when they became really serious, and that's when I stopped playing them. But Legend Bowl is a perfect mix between the serious simulation style gameplay, so all the, I was going to say powers and moves, but all the plays that you have in real American football, they're all there. All the running moves and the throwing moves and all the technical terms that I don't understand, because I generally use about 3 different plays, but they're all there for you to play if you want them. But you can also, again, just pick up and play this. With very little training, you can play this and have great fun with a friend. No problems at all. Now, Paul and I actually featured this on a virtual indie booth stream, and we loved it so much that we came back to it a few days later and did a full stream dedicated to this, just to play a couple of games, because it's absolutely brilliant. You'll be shouting at your friends in 10 minutes flat, no problem at all.
Shotgun.
Shotgun.
I still don't know what shotgun means.
No, wait.
There you go.
No.
There you go.
Shit.
Suck it, nerd.
No.
This is currently in early access. It came out in November of 2020. This is split screen PvP, so you can play multiplayer, but it is local only. However, as we've mentioned before, you can use Steam Remote Play Together, so you can play it across the internet if you wish, or you can use a service like Parsec, which also works brilliantly, and that's actually what we used when we tested it. Pixel art looks absolutely wonderful. It's animated beautifully, really nice, and the controls are really simple. Like I said, you can pick up and play this and just have fun. So I highly recommend you check Legend Bowl out. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So it's currently only available on Steam, and again, like I said, it is early access, so there are still updates and changes happening to the game if you decide to pick it up now, so don't be surprised at that. It's still completely playable and you'll absolutely love it. Head to Steam, check it out now, and enjoy. And that brings us to the final game, which is Hockey Heroes. So this is a 3-on-3 arcade hockey role-playing party game. Play alone with up to 4 friends as you draft your team from a roster of diverse characters and travel across the country battling through tournaments. Hockey Heroes combines the high-scoring arcade hockey gameplay from Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey back on the N64 with the party game style fun of Overcooked and the character progression and equipment unlocks of Castle Crashers. The on-ice gameplay is quick, high-scoring, heavy-hitting and action-packed. The unique story mode will take players on a journey across the country and through tournaments at unique outdoor hockey rinks. Your team works their way from relative obscurity on lakes in the rural parts of the country to the big city where they play in front of huge crowds in a giant coliseum. As your team progresses further through the Hockey Heroes story mode, you unlock new equipment and acquire stat points to improve your team's talents and customize their abilities. You and your friends can play through the story tournaments together, upgrading your characters along the way, or you can create your own tournament and see who takes home the local cup. Arcade mechanics make Hockey Heroes accessible while offering a layer of skill and timing for the more experienced player. The gameplay is quick and over the top with high scores, big hits, fights and power pickups that give your team temporary advantages like turning your goalie into a brick wall or changing an opposition player into a pigeon. Hockey Heroes is inspired by arcade classics from the 90s and early 2000s. with some modern twists and additions. It's currently in development by a solo developer out of Toronto, and you can wishlist it on Steam right now. Now, the release date for this is actually Q2 2022, so we have a bit of time to wait for this. But I absolutely love the arcade style fun and action that this game is showing. Really impresses me. So I've been following this game for about a year already, so I'm excited to see that it finally has a Steam page and a rough release date. And that brings us to the end of this indie sports game roundup. I hope you found some cool games that you maybe hadn't seen before. If you think I've missed any, and I know I have, there are so many, but please, if you think I've missed one that you'd like to see featured, please drop a link below and I'll take a look at it in another video. Because like I said, doing this, I've already found more games that I like the look of, but I didn't want to make this list too long. So please drop your messages below and I'll take a look at any games you recommend for me. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, share it, all that stuff. And until next time, goodbye.